Welcome to All Things Food. I'm John Woods, and I love to cook, but I cook to love. And today I'm going to share with you one of the simplest recipes that I've ever shared on this YouTube channel. Basic ingredients. It's a recipe that everybody loves. It's so easy to make, so let's get cooking. So what is that recipe that I'm talking about today? It's none other than one of the all-time favorites, especially for kids and adults, is Rotel chicken spaghetti. And we have a few ingredients in front of us. We're going to make this from scratch. I'm going to walk you through this step by step. It is so fun, it is so easy. The ingredients for this are so basic, so simple. It looks like a lot going on here. I have water up here that I'm getting ready to boil for my pasta. We just cooked a whole chicken. Looks wonderful. And I've got this little pot over here. And today, instead of using canned soup, and you can do that, whether it's cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, cream of celery, whatever you want to do. We're going to make our own soup today. It is so simple, and you'll be glad that we did this extra little step today. So we're going to bring that water to a boil for our pasta. And remember, when you season or salt water for pasta, make it as salty as the sea. You want a good bit of salt in there. And it's a little bit of kosher salt. You can use table salt. That's about the only thing I think table salt's good for, is the salt pasta. But we're going to make that pretty salty because we want our pasta to be very flavorful. And while our water is getting ready to boil for our pasta, we're going to come over here and heat up our little Dutch oven, and we're going to make some homemade cream of mushroom soup. It is so simple. You'll be glad that we did this. The first we're going to melt some butter in here. Probably about a tablespoon or so. While that's melting, let me just kind of tell you what we're going to do over here. I've got some onions and I've chopped these up fairly fine. And then I have mushrooms, and again, they're chopped up fine. Now the mushrooms are completely optional. Sometimes I'll even put celery into this, but what we're going to do, we're going to saute down these onions till they're nice and clear. You can buy a rotisserie chicken at the store. You can do chicken breast, chicken thighs. I just chose to do an entire chicken today. And then we're going to save that broth because we're going to use it in some other recipes in the days ahead. We're going to add our mushrooms in there. Again, those are finely chopped mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of salt in there to sweat those mushrooms out a little bit. Not much. We may have to add just a tad of butter in order to do this, but we're going to make a roux with some flour. Normally I would thicken this recipe up with cornstarch. Apparently I'm out of cornstarch. I thought I had a box, but I could not find it. And so we're going to do it the old-fashioned way and use flour, and that's perfectly fine. Come over here and we're going to grab our flour. That's about half a cup. I'm going to add a fourth of a cup and see how that works out. And we're going to cook this for a minute or two to get all that flour taste out of there. I'm going to keep stirring this. This is a cold chicken stock, chicken broth, and we're going to add it to a hot mixture here. Go ahead and slowly pour this in here. There's about 2 cups of cream left in here. Shake that up a little bit. Pour that in as well. We're going to bring this to a boil here. Let that thicken up a little bit. Water's boiling. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 pounds to this. That's quite a bit of pasta, actually. Go ahead and add that in there. Maybe just 1 pound is all we're going to do today. So I'll tell you what you can do if you want to add a little bit more flavor to your soup over here is get some of this better than bouillon chicken. Put about a teaspoon in there. Stir it in real good. I love this stuff. If you've seen a lot of my videos, you know I use it quite a bit. So our soup is looking pretty good, actually. Check on my pasta over here. I want to stir that a little so it doesn't all clump together. Excellent. This is so good. So what we're going to do at this point, I've already taken my Velveeta cheese. We had a 2-pound block of Velveeta cheese. 4 cups of liquid in this here. And then we have our chicken. And then I'm going to take these, I cut this into chunks. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down inside here and melt it down. That's going to thicken that up quite a bit. We may have to add a little bit more milk or cream or broth just to thin it down some. So here's the game changer right here. This is the Rotel. And we're going to start with 1 can of Rotel in there. And we can always kick it up if we want to. Add another can. I have one over here ready to go. And you can actually, what you can do with this recipe is actually double the amount of Velveeta cheese you put in here and get it really thick, and then it becomes almost like a dip, a really good dip that'll go with chips. That was a bonus for you, and be sure to like this video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. We bring great recipes like this to you every week. So simple. So I left a little firmness to that pasta because it's going to continue to cook in here, and we don't want to overcook the pasta. So I'm going to go ahead and dump that in here. Looks like just about the right amount, actually. While all this is simmering, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to shred my chicken, and we're going to come back and add that chicken to this, and we're going to have the best Rotel chicken spaghetti you've ever had in your life. So we're looking pretty good over here on our pasta. It's a little thicker than I want it to be. So what we're going to do is fix that real simply. We've shredded our chicken, and I've gone through this chicken many times to make certain that there are no bones in it. I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken over here to the pasta. And we're going to thin this down a little bit by using some broth out of this pot right here where we had our chicken a minute ago. Reach in here and get some of this nice rich broth. We could add milk or cream to it as well. I think we're just going to add broth. Keep in mind that pasta absorbs a lot of moisture, so it takes probably more than you think it does. And I learned something a long time ago. You can actually take this and put it in a pan and freeze it. It freezes very well. Take it out, thaw it, heat it up in the microwave or in the oven covered with foil. And you can keep this in your freezer 2 or 3 months easily and have it as a last minute meal whenever you don't feel like cooking. If you do that though, put a little bit more moisture in it just so it'll hydrate properly when you reheat it. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to add even a little bit more broth to this, because I know that pasta is going to absorb so much more of this. And I'm going to freeze some of this too, and that'll help that as well. So there you have it, probably the simplest recipe that I've ever made on my YouTube channel, Rotel chicken spaghetti. The ingredients were simple and not very expensive. And this is a big pot of spaghetti. This is going to go a long way. So if you have a family of 4, this is probably enough for 2 meals. You can freeze it, as I said. It's going to be great. Heat it back up in the oven. If you learned anything today, even if you didn't learn something, hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to it. And every week I'm going to try to come and bring you some simple recipes like this. And remember, above everything else, not only love to cook like I do, but cook to love. And I'll see you next time.